the art of mastering your mind, finding calm in chaos. Life is unpredictable. One moment, everything flows smoothly like a gentle stream. The next, you're caught in a whirlwind of stress, chaos, and uncertainty. It can feel overwhelming, as if you're being tossed around by forces beyond your control. But here's the truth. This is the nature of growth. Growth isn't a perfectly paved road. It's a series of unforeseen challenges, some small, some life-changing, that push us beyond what we thought we could handle. It forces us to face situations we never prepared for. And yet, within the storm, there is always an anchor, a way to remain steady, a way to train our minds to stay calm, no matter what happens around us. Is this possible? Yes. Calmness isn't a rare gift bestowed upon the wise. It isn't something exclusive to monks meditating in the mountains. It's a skill, a habit, and like any habit, it can be cultivated. As Marcus Aurelius once said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you'll find strength. Stoicism teaches us that true tranquility doesn't come from controlling the world around us. It comes from mastering our response to it. And once we understand this, we unlock a new way of living, one where external chaos no longer dictates our inner peace. In this journey, we'll explore how to train the mind, how to stay composed in the most challenging situations, and ultimately, how to take control of the only thing we truly can, ourselves. Because in the end, life isn't about avoiding hardships. It's about learning how to navigate them. Control your mind, or it will control you. Have you ever felt like your mind was working against you? Like you were trapped inside your own thoughts? One moment, you're fine. The next, a wave of anxiety, anger, or self-doubt crashes over you. Before you know it, you're reacting in ways you later regret. This is a human mind, powerful yet easily swayed by emotions. But the question is, do you control your mind, or does it control you? Imagine you're at a gathering, enjoying a pleasant conversation, when suddenly someone makes a negative remark about you in front of everyone. A sharp comment, a criticism, maybe unintentional, maybe deliberate. What happens next? If your mind is untrained, a surge of emotions takes over. Your heart pounds. Your self-esteem wavers. You feel the urge to defend yourself, to retaliate, to storm out. But pause for a moment. Ask yourself, is this truly you? Or is this just your mind reacting? Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, once said, "We suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them." In other words, it's not the insult that hurts us, it's how we interpret it. If we take it as a personal attack, we suffer. If we see it as just another opinion, one that holds no real weight, it dissolves, leaving no trace behind. Stoicism doesn't teach us to suppress emotions. It teaches us to master them. Control doesn't mean forcing yourself not to feel anger or sadness. It means refusing to let those emotions dictate your actions. So, let's return to the party. Instead of letting anger take over, you take a breath. You pause. You observe your reaction without acting on it. You look at the person who criticized you, not with hostility, but with calmness. You recognize that their words only have power if you grant them power. And so, you choose how to respond. Maybe with a measured reply. Maybe with silence. Maybe with a simple smile. That single moment of control changes everything. When someone provokes you but doesn't get the reaction they expected, they are the ones who become unsettled. They anticipated anger, defensiveness. Instead, they're met with unshakable composure. That is the power of mastering your mind. The daily practice of mental mastery. Training the mind in Stoicism isn't a one-time event. It's a daily practice. It starts small, handling little frustrations before tackling life's bigger storms. When a reckless driver cuts you off, you can react with frustration or remind yourself that you can't control them, only your own response. When someone says something hurtful, you can let negative emotions take over, or you can remind yourself that their words do not define you. When plans fall apart, you can spiral into stress, or you can accept what is and adjust with grace. Mastering your mind doesn't mean becoming emotionless. On the contrary, it frees you. It allows you to live with clarity, without being controlled by impulsive reactions. It gives you the power to choose how you feel, how you respond, and ultimately, how you live. Because in the end, if you don't control your mind, it will control you. And that is the difference between merely existing and truly living. The power of mastering anger, turning chaos into clarity. Anger doesn't solve problems. It creates more. Anger is a natural human reaction. We've all felt it. The surge of frustration, the burning sense of injustice, the immediate urge to lash out. In the heat of the moment, anger can feel empowering, like we're reclaiming control by raising our voice, resisting, or venting our frustration. But in reality, anger rarely fixes anything. More often than not, it fuels the fire, escalates the conflict, and clouds our judgment. Imagine you're driving on a busy highway. You're maintaining a steady speed when suddenly another car cuts in front of you without warning. Your heart races, your grip tightens on the steering wheel, and anger flares up. Your mind floods with thoughts of unfairness and disrespect. You feel the impulse to react, to honk loudly, yell, or even speed up in retaliation. But pause for a moment. Will any of these actions make the situation better? If you allow anger to take control, what might happen? You could end up causing an accident, escalating a dangerous confrontation, or simply ruining your own peace. The other driver might not even notice your reaction, but you'll carry the weight of it. According to Stoicism, we cannot control the actions of others, but we can always control our own reactions. Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." This is the key to mastering anger, the pause that changes everything. When something upsets you, rather than reacting instantly, pause. Take a deep breath. Ask yourself, is this truly worth losing my peace over? If the answer is no, then your anger is not worth your energy. Anger itself isn't the enemy. It's a signal. It tells us that something feels wrong, that we feel hurt, disrespected, or treated unfairly. But instead of letting it explode outward, we should use it as a moment to reflect. When someone hurts you, do you need to lash out, or should you reflect on why their actions affected you so much? When facing injustice, does yelling change the situation, or should you find a smarter approach to protect your rights? When confronted with rudeness, is matching that energy productive, or would maintaining your composure be more effective? No matter how chaotic the world becomes or how unreasonable people can be, your true power lies in how you respond. Someone may try to offend you, but you have the power to decide whether their words disturb your inner peace. Calmness is not weakness, it's strength. There is a common misconception that staying silent or not reacting immediately is a sign of weakness. In reality, the opposite is true. Controlling anger requires an extraordinary level of discipline and inner mastery. The person who loses their temper the fastest is often the one who has the least control. On the other hand, the one who can stand in the middle of chaos, observing without being swept away, is the strongest. And this leads us to a deeper truth. Calmness is not passivity. It is not surrender. It is a conscious choice. But why? What makes self-control more powerful than any words spoken in anger? The answer will make you reflect, and that is exactly what we will explore next. Why silence is stronger than rage. In a world that glorifies quick reactions, silence is often mistaken for weakness. But true strength lies in restraint. It lies in choosing peace when chaos calls for war. It lies in responding with wisdom when anger demands impulse. The person who stays calm in an argument is often the one who holds the most power. The leader who thinks before speaking earns more respect than the one who yells. The individual who lets go of resentment lives a lighter, freer life than the one who clings to it. When you control your anger, you don't just prevent unnecessary conflict. You gain clarity. You open the door to solutions instead of adding to the problem. You become the one who dictates your emotions, rather than letting emotions dictate you. Because in the end, true power is not in the loudest voice or the fastest reaction. True power is in the ability to remain steady, even when the world around you is anything but. And that power, it's within your reach. It starts with one decision: to control your anger before it controls you. Calmness is not weakness, it's strength. Society often assumes that power belongs to those who are loud, aggressive, or physically dominant. In meetings, The loudest voice is mistaken for the most influential. In arguments, the angriest person seems to have the upper hand. But true strength isn't about raising your voice or overpowering others. It lies in self-control, in the ability to remain calm even in the face of chaos. Imagine someone insults you in public. Your first instinct might be to fire back, to defend yourself with the same intensity. But ask yourself, will that reaction make you stronger? Or will it simply make you a prisoner of your emotions? When you retaliate in anger, you allow the other person to dictate your mood, turning you into a puppet of the situation. A truly strong person is not easily provoked. They don't allow others to control their emotions or their actions. Instead, they master themselves. Consider a high-pressure situation, a tense business meeting where a colleague rudely dismisses your idea. All eyes turn to you. How will you respond? You have two choices. React immediately, letting anger take over, or take a deep breath, stay composed, and respond with measured confidence. The first choice fuels conflict and weakens your position. The second earns you respect, showcasing your ability to navigate challenges with clarity and intelligence. History proves that calmness is more powerful than force. Mahatma Gandhi, facing the might of the British Empire, did not resort to violence. Instead, he practiced nonviolence and unshakable composure. His peaceful protests, including the famous Salt March, dismantled the British moral authority. Oppressors used force, but Gandhi's unwavering calmness exposed their weakness. He proved that true power does not come from aggression. It comes from mastery over oneself. People who lose their temper easily aren't as strong as they seem. Those who shout, threaten, or act impulsively reveal their own insecurity and lack of control. They let external circumstances dictate their emotions. But when you remain calm, you take away their power. You show that no one can manipulate you unless you allow them to. Staying composed in difficult moments is not passive. Hey, if you're enjoying the video so far, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. It really helps out the channel and lets you know when I upload more content like this. Now, let's get back to the video. It's a sign of dignity, wisdom, and self-respect. It means refusing to be dragged down by negativity. It means proving that your emotions belong to you, not to the world around you. Strength isn't about dominating others. It's about mastering yourself. And once you achieve that, no one can shake you. Because in the end, real power is not about what happens around you. It's about what happens within you. And when you stay calm, you've already won before the battle even begins. Life is unfair, but that calmness is not weakness. It's strength. Society often teaches us that power belongs to the loudest voice in the room, the one who speaks with force, or the person who dominates through aggression. We grow up believing that strength means winning arguments, standing our ground no matter what, and never backing down. But is that true strength? If we look deeper, we find a different reality. True power lies in self-control, not outbursts. The person who remains calm in a storm is not weak. They are in control. The one who does not react to provocation but chooses their response wisely is not passive. They are powerful. Real strength is not about overpowering others. It's about mastering oneself. The power of self-control. Imagine you're in a heated argument. The other person raises their voice. Their face flushes with frustration and they hurl accusations. Your instinct tells you to fight back, to match their energy, to defend yourself fiercely. But ask yourself, does reacting with the same level of anger truly help? More often than not, it only escalates the conflict, making it harder to find a resolution. Now, imagine another scenario. Instead of reacting instantly, you pause, you take a deep breath, you listen, and when you finally speak, you do so with clarity and composure. Suddenly, the energy in the room shifts. The person yelling at you is no longer in control. You are. Your calmness disarms them. Instead of engaging in a battle of emotions, you remain steady, making it clear that you refuse to be pulled into chaos. That is strength. Controlling your response, controlling the outcome. Let's take an everyday example. You're driving to work and someone cuts you off aggressively. Your pulse spikes, frustration surges. You feel the urge to honk loudly, yell, or speed up to confront them. But ask yourself, will any of those actions change what just happened? Will they make your day better, or will they only add stress and negativity to your life? A Stoic approach reminds us that we cannot control what others do, but we can always control how we respond. Instead of letting anger take the wheel, we can choose to let it go, to breathe, to remind ourselves that small moments of frustration are not worth losing our peace over. In doing so, we reclaim control not over the external world, but over our inner state. Historical examples of the strength of calmness. Some of history's most powerful figures have demonstrated that real strength is found in composure. Mahatma Gandhi faced one of the most oppressive regimes of his time. Instead of retaliating with violence, he led a peaceful resistance. His calm determination did not make him weak. It made him one of the most influential leaders in modern history. His ability to remain composed under immense pressure is what ultimately brought an empire to its knees. Similarly, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. preached nonviolent resistance in the face of racism and injustice. He did not meet hate with hate, but with unshakable dignity. His ability to stand firm without resorting to aggression made his movement unstoppable. True leaders do not let external chaos dictate their inner peace. They remain steady, and in doing so, they change the world, winning without fighting. There's an old saying, the one who angers you controls you. If someone can push your buttons and make you react without thought, they have power over you. But if you master your emotions, no one can manipulate you. Staying calm does not mean you are indifferent or weak. It means you are in control. Think of it like a chess game. A player who makes moves impulsively, reacting emotionally to their opponent, will quickly lose. But a player who remains composed, who thinks several steps ahead, who refuses to be provoked, that player wins. Not because they fought harder, but because they fought smarter. The strength in stillness. Remaining calm in difficult situations is not a sign of surrender. It is a sign of mastery. It means you understand that your peace is too valuable to be disrupted by temporary frustrations. It means you have trained yourself to respond, not react. And that, above all, is what makes you truly strong. Next time you face a challenging situation, remember, the real victory is not in overpowering others, but in mastering yourself. Because in the end, true strength is not about what happened around you. It's about what happens within you. Life is unfair, but that doesn't matter. Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you work, life just isn't fair? You put in the effort, stay late at the office, and go the extra mile, yet someone less deserving gets a promotion. You treat people with kindness, but they betray you. You do everything right, yet things still go wrong. It's frustrating, it's infuriating, and it feels deeply unfair. But here's the hard truth. Life has never been fair, and it never will be. If you get stuck dwelling on that, you will trap yourself in a cycle of resentment and disappointment. The key is to shift your focus from what you cannot control to what you can. Your mindset, your actions, your response. The power of perspective. Imagine waking up one day and realizing you have no arms and no legs. How would you react? Would you feel hopeless? Would you give up? Many people would, but not Nick Vujicic. Nick was born with a rare condition called tetraamelia syndrome, which left him without limbs. As a child, he struggled with insecurity, despair, and even suicidal thoughts. He wanted to give up until he realized something life-changing. If he couldn't change his fate, he could change how he faced it. Instead of feeling sorry for himself, Nick learned how to adapt. He figured out how to brush his teeth, swim, and even play soccer, using just his torso and a small foot. Not only did he learn to live independently, but he also became a motivational speaker, inspiring millions around the world. Nick's story proves a simple yet powerful truth. Unfairness is a fact of life, but it doesn't have to define you. You don't get to choose your circumstances, but you always have a choice in how you respond. You can't control the storm, but you can control yourself. Think of life like a storm. You can curse the wind and rain, complain about the cold, or shake your fist at the sky. But will that change anything? No. The storm will rage on, regardless of how you feel about it. But you do have a choice. You can prepare for the storm. You can find shelter. You can use that time to reflect and grow. You can come out of it stronger than before. That's the power of perspective. People who constantly dwell on life's injustices remain victims of their circumstances. But those who embrace Stoicism, who accept reality without allowing to break them, gain an incredible advantage. They refuse to let the world defeat them. How to apply this mindset in your life? The next time life feels unfair, stop and ask yourself, will getting angry or complaining change anything? If the answer is no, then why waste your energy? Instead, focus on what you can control. Improve your skills. Strengthen your emotional resilience. Keep moving forward, no matter what obstacles come your way. Life will throw curveballs at you. People will disappoint you. Things won't always go as planned. But that doesn't matter. What matters is what you do about it. Will you let injustice break you? Or will you use it to make yourself stronger? A small favor. Before we move on, can I ask you for a tiny favor? If you're enjoying this and you're nodding along right now, take a second to hit the like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Why? Because when you do, you're telling YouTube, hey, this content is valuable. And that helps spread this message to more people who might need a little motivation today. Let's keep growing and learning together. Now, let's take this a step further. Think about a time when you lost control, when anger, frustration, or disappointment got the best of you. Did you really lose control, or was it a choice? Let's explore that next. Losing control is a choice. Most people believe their emotions are dictated by external circumstances, by how others treat them, by unexpected situations, by things beyond their control. But if you examine this closely, you'll realize that we don't lose control because of others. We lose control because we choose to. Imagine this. You're in line at a coffee shop. You've been waiting patiently when suddenly someone cuts in front of you. You feel a surge of irritation. Your heartbeat quickens. Your fists tighten. A part of you wants to lash out, to demand fairness. But then a thought interrupts. What do you gain by reacting with anger? Does it change the situation? Or does it just steal your peace? This is where your power lies. You can let frustration control you, or you can take a deep breath and respond with calm and dignity. Epictetus, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." His words hold a deep truth. No one can make you angry, anxious, or bitter unless you allow them to. The world does not dictate your emotions. You do. Think about the people you admire. Maybe it's a former coach who never lost their temper, a mentor who handled pressure with grace, or a friend who remained steady even in chaos. Have you ever wondered why they don't easily lose their composure? It's not that they don't experience frustration or disappointment. It's that they understand a fundamental principle. Losing control is a choice, and they refuse to make that choice. A simple but powerful story. A woman once worked for a company where her ideas were constantly dismissed. No matter how hard she tried, she was overlooked. Her colleagues told her to fight back, to make a scene, to demand respect. But she chose a different path. Instead of wasting her energy on resentment, she refined her skills, deepened her knowledge, and stayed composed. Years later, the same company that once ignored her offered her a leadership position. Why? Because while others wasted energy on reactionary outbursts, she focused on what she could control, her own growth. The lesson? People who react impulsively let others dictate their emotions. People who remain calm maintain control over their own destiny. So, how do you master this mindset? Pause before you react. When anger rises, take a breath and ask, will this reaction help me? If the answer is no, don't waste your energy on it. A silent, composed response is often more powerful than an emotional outburst. Control your thoughts. When you catch yourself getting caught up in negativity, remind yourself, I cannot control others, but I can control myself. This doesn't mean tolerating disrespect. It means choosing a response that benefits you instead of one that weakens you. Find strength in calmness. True strength isn't about being the loudest in the room. It's about staying steady when everything around you is chaotic. It's about responding, not reacting. It's about knowing that no matter what happens, your peace is yours to protect. When you master the art of self-control, nothing can shake you. And that is where true power lies. The world will never stop throwing challenges your way, but how you face them, that's always up to you. Don't get stuck in the past or the future. Have you ever felt weighed down by regret over something you can't change? Or found yourself lost in anxious thoughts about a future that hasn't even arrived? Many people spend their days bouncing between these two uncontrollable realities, the past that is gone and the future that remains uncertain. But here's the truth. The only time that truly belongs to you is the present. If you want to train your mind to stay calm in any situation, you must break free from this mental trap. One of the most powerful lessons in Stoicism is the importance of living fully in the present moment. Marcus Aurelius, the great Roman emperor and philosopher, once wrote, "Remember that man lives only in the present, in this fleeting instant. All the rest of his life is either past and gone or not yet revealed." These words are not just ancient wisdom. They are a practical reminder that when we dwell on the past, we chain ourselves to something we can never change. When we fixate on the future, we create unnecessary stress over things that may never happen. But when we focus on the present, we gain power, the power to act, to improve, and take control of our emotions. Think about it. How many moments of joy have been stolen from you because you were too busy reliving an old mistake or worrying about what might go wrong? The mind left unchecked becomes a prison of what-ifs and if-onlys. But you are not your thoughts. You are the awareness behind them. And that means you can choose where to place your focus. So, how do you train yourself to live in the present? The key is mindfulness, not in a mystical or complex way, but in a simple, practical sense. Mindfulness means being fully aware of where you are, what you are doing, and how you are feeling, without being pulled away by distractions of the past or the future. It's about catching yourself when your mind starts to wander and bringing it back to the here and now. A great example of this is found in the world of competitive sports. Take a world-class athlete like Novak Djokovic. In the early days of his career, he often struggled with his emotions, haunted by past losses and fearful of the next match's outcome. These thoughts prevented him from performing at his best. But everything changed when he mastered the art of present moment awareness. Instead of dwelling on previous mistakes or worrying about future matches, he trained himself to focus entirely on each individual point, each swing of the racket, each breath. This mental shift didn't just improve his game, it transformed him into one of the greatest tennis players of all time. His success wasn't just about skill. It was about mastering the ability to control his mind and fully engage with the moment. This principle applies to life far beyond sports. Imagine you're in an important meeting, but instead of focusing on the discussion, your mind keeps replaying a past failure. Or picture yourself on a date, but instead of enjoying the moment, you're worrying about whether things will work out in the long run. Every time you let your mind slip away from the present, you miss out on opportunities to truly experience life. So how can you apply this to your daily life? Practice awareness. Notice when your thoughts drift to the past or the future, and gently guide them back to the present. Use your breath. When overwhelmed, take a deep breath and focus on it. This simple act anchors you in the now. Engage fully in what you're doing. Whether it's eating, talking, or working, give your full attention to the task at hand. Let go of what you can't control. The past is unchangeable and the future is unpredictable. But the present, that's yours to shape. Living in the moment isn't about ignoring the past or neglecting the future. It's about recognizing that the past is a lesson and the future is a possibility. But the present is where life happens. If you spend your days stuck in what was or what could be, you'll miss what is. And what is right now is the only thing you truly own. So ask yourself, where's your mind right now? Are you living in the moment, or are you trapped in the past or future? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this insight helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe. More wisdom is coming your way. Life is chaotic, but calmness lies within you. Life is unpredictable. You might wake up expecting a normal day, but in a moment, everything can change. An unexpected phone call, a sudden argument, a challenge you didn't see coming. Chaos is a natural part of life. But there is one thing you can always control: your mind and your reactions. Have you ever noticed that the people who remain calm during a storm are the ones who emerge stronger? When everything around you turns tense, when panic spreads like wildfire, the person who can stay composed is the one who truly wins. You don't have control over what happens, but you have complete control over how you respond. Calmness is power. The world often mistakes silence for weakness, but true silence is strength. It is the power of self-discipline, of mastering your emotions, and of refusing to be controlled by external events. Imagine you're driving in heavy traffic, and someone cuts you off, forcing you to slam on the brakes. You could honk, curse, and let frustration ruin your mood, or you could take a deep breath, recognize that your anger won't change the situation, and continue forward calmly. Every day, life presents situations like this. Someone insults you, plans fall apart, someone betrays your trust. In these moments, what defines you is not what happened, but how you react. If you allow emotions to take over, you are handing control to the external world. But when you remain calm, you take control of your own life, mastering your mind. When people are angry, they want you to be angry too. When they are anxious, they hope you will join them in their worry. But if you maintain your composure, you refuse to be dragged into their emotional chaos. This is not avoidance. It is mastery. It is knowing that calmness allows you to think clearly, make better decisions, and avoid unnecessary suffering. Stoic philosophers have practiced this mindset for centuries. The key is mindfulness, not in some abstract, meditative way, but in simple awareness of the present. Next time someone tries to provoke you, take a pause. Instead of reacting immediately, let the moment pass. Sometimes, silence is the most powerful response. There's a story about an athlete who was once plagued by fear and frustration over every loss. His emotions consumed him, but everything changed when he learned to focus only on the present. Instead of dwelling on past mistakes or worrying about the next challenge, he trained his mind to stay in the moment. And with that shift, he became one of the greatest in his field. This isn't just about sports. It applies to every area of life. Success, peace, and strength come not just from skill, but from emotional control. Don't let circumstances define you. Life doesn't always deal fair cards. Some people are born into hardship, facing struggles that seem impossible to overcome. But here's the truth. Circumstances do not define you. Your response to them does. Think about a young girl born into poverty. Everyone around her believes she will never rise above her situation. At first, she believes it too. But one day, she realizes something. Her environment is just a backdrop. It's not her destiny. If she accepts limitations, they become real. But if she refuses to let her circumstances define her, she creates a new future. She begins learning, working, pushing forward. She faces setbacks, but she doesn't let them break her. Instead of blaming her situation, she takes responsibility for her mindset, and slowly, she transforms her life. This isn't fiction. Countless people have rewritten their own stories simply by refusing to be victims of their circumstances. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." Your hardships, your failures, your setbacks, they don't define you. What defines you is whether you let them defeat you or drive you forward. Calmness is a skill, not reaction. Some believe that staying calm is just a personality trait, something you're either born with or without. But that's not true. Calmness is a skill, one that can be practiced and developed. It's about training yourself to pause before reacting, to breathe before speaking, to think before acting. Marcus Aurelius, one of history's greatest Stoics, knew this well. Despite ruling an empire filled with war, betrayal, and political chaos, he remained steady. Why? Because he understood that while he couldn't control the world, he could control his mind. And so can you. Conclusion: the ability to stay calm in the face of life's storms is one of the greatest strengths you can develop. It allows you to make clear decisions, avoid unnecessary suffering, and maintain power over your own emotions. The world will continue to throw challenges at you. People will try to provoke you. Unexpected hardships will arise. But the choice is always yours. Will you let the chaos control you, or will you rise above it? If this message resonates with you, take a moment to reflect. Where in your life do you struggle to stay calm? How can you start practicing control over your reactions? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. There are many more lessons waiting for you in the next video. See you there. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you never miss an update. Also, turn on notifications by clicking the bell icon. See you in the next one.